show. My name is Penrose Eames. I'm extremely nervous, not nervous to be in front of you all, but I do a show with Nelson here. That's my co-host. He asked me to sign up for this. He said, hey, come be you. Just do me one favor. You got to be PG. I'm the least PG person you've ever met, so I'm really nervous right now. I didn't know how I was going to tell this story, so I'm just going to let it out. And first off, also, thank you for letting me share the energy with you all today and share your space and let me tell my story. The philosopher Seneca, he wrote, "We are dying every day, and all the days we have lived up to now are already in the hands of death. Stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do this anymore? Then think there's somebody who can't ask themselves that because they never lived." I grew up pretty decent childhood, ended up going to the military, lived a pretty decent life. The one thing that I was always raised to be, though, was my grandmother coined it, have a lover's arrogance. You walk the earth as if you're better than everybody that's next to you, but you never show it. You don't do anything wrong to people. You just have to have a confidence in yourself. That should denote that. Sometimes people don't teach lessons right, though. And when you're a kid from the city of Detroit, your father pretty much taught you that the opposite sex was your property. You were raised by people in the streets, just, you come up as a typical young man. You have a braggadocious air about yourself that really does not exist. I never wanted anybody on this earth to be better than me. My child's mother got pregnant. I pretty much looked up at God and like, thank you for that daughter. And 9 months later, there's a boy. You're a failure as a man if you don't take the boy that you produce or help produce and not make him better than you. At 23 years old, life just instantly clicked. I'm doing all the right things. I'm raising him. Actually, me and his mother separated. He was 7 months. I've had him ever since then. If you meet my son, and I'm not saying this to be braggadocious, I'll just say this. I got in a cab one day, and this guy was like, now, mind you, I said cab. You can tell how long ago this was. Anyhow, this guy says, you have a son named Derek? First off, I'm already on guard, like, how do you know this? And he's like, yo, do you? I say, yeah. He looks just like you. Y'all got the same name, this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, what's going on? He says, dude, I've never had a more intellectual conversation with a teenager. I've never met a more respectful person. I'm not bragging on my son. I just did a really good job. And I kind of feel good about it because I did it by myself. Who gives a 23-year-old boy a 7-month-old kid? Anyhow, again, I got out of the braggadocious stage because I had to be a father. I let a lot of that stuff go. But then I fell right back into it because just like I bragged on my son, that's how I walked around the world. I bragged on being a father. The pandemic came. My son says, hey, Dad, I've never lived with my mom. We're doing school online. You mind if I go to Detroit? So he goes. I had a older cousin who would talk about empty nest syndrome when her kids went to college, and it never made sense to me. And then you stop hearing, hey dad, nobody's asking you for money. Nobody's playing a video game all night. It's cool. I'll get over it. And then you don't get over it because you just got out of a relationship, and that was pretty much his mother. She's gone. You tell yourself don't get in a new relationship because you ain't ready. You do anyway. That fails. And the whole time, this kid has been your ride or die. This kid has seen some things that, yeah, he just shouldn't have, but at the same time, he's just an amazing soul. But I never realized, not only did I love being a father, I didn't know how to do anything else good. Now, don't get me wrong. I know how to use my hands. I'm a very great field tech. I'm a great person. But I didn't really know how to do anything else. Around that time, I sent him to Detroit. Now, I've always had like certain issues. When I sent him to Detroit, went to therapy, found out I'm bipolar. Worst thing to do is be alone in a pandemic where you can't go nowhere. And your thoughts are messing with you. I don't know how long it took, but when it went from just missing him being around to your thoughts telling you that's the only thing you was good at. If he ain't here, what's your purpose? long story short, we got addicted to some things. We fell into deep depression. And Christmas Eve of 2021, if the right people didn't call the right people, I wouldn't be here to tell you the story. Woke up, got better, ran through whatever we need to run through to get back to life. Again, we are dying every day, and all the days we have lived up to now are already in the hands of death. Stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do this anymore? At the end of the day, we always say Martin Luther King had a great past. Malcolm had a great past. Some people in our family had a great past. It's impossible to have an amazing past if you don't have an amazing present. I had to stop looking at that I raised this kid and he was amazing, and that's the only thing I could hang my hat on, because when he was gone, I had nothing else. I stopped looking, at this point now, I stopped looking at the past, because I had to figure out, the past is beautiful. We have memories. I'm one of those people that came up, we still had Polaroids and regular cameras. I miss those days, you know what I mean? The pictures were a lot better. I say that to say, the past is amazing, but if you really think about it, it's a great sense of beauty in not knowing exactly how many days you have in front of you, because when you don't have to worry about that, every day is the last, so you're gonna make it amazing.